So it's working then. Let's quit that. Hey, how have you got it full screen like that? No, now I can't see the chat. Okay then. So rolling. How do people generally start these things? You don't. You just sort of go. Yeah. I don't know where the viewers actually are. But, yeah. Just rock on. Okay, so I will post the links some places. Let's share it there. Share there. Share there. You can share it. Breaking into it. It's kind of a bit weird. So, I'll do a little bit of an introduction to this, just for the sake of having video on Twitch to have a little bit of introduction. So, this is Halfquake Trilogy. Let's set my sensitivity down to something a bit more sensible. Halfquake Trilogy is the combination of 3 games. We have Halfquake 1, we have Halfquake Amen, and we have Halfquake Sunrise. None of these games have anything to do with Half-Life or Quake. It's kind of just completely sort of irrelevant sort of link, as it were, but the reason that these games are kind of cool in my eyes and why I want to play them is because when I was younger, teenage, you know, formative years, nice and impressionable, this was the sort of game that struck me as being completely different. It was very. You looked at the games that were around at the time, and this was very much the sort of game that had a different atmosphere to it. It's more apparent in the sort of art style you see in Halfquake Amen, with all of these kind of nice, high contrast, block-like textures. If anyone's played like Orange Box style games for Half-Life 2, Source Engine, that sort of thing, they'll recognise these sort of things from the kind of cheaply made custom maps. But for me, at the time, this was entirely new, the idea of just having these sort of very simply made, high contrast, artistic almost style maps. It looks so different to anything that was out at the time. And I started with Halfquake Amen, but I ended up playing all 3. And I'll talk a little bit about why I found it interesting as I go through. But for now, I think I should probably just get on with it. So, Halfquake 1. This has a lot more similarities to Quake. You can see the portal looks a lot similar to the original Quake portals. So I suppose that's where some of the inspiration comes from. Ah, I didn't realise there was a button here. So that was Halfquake 1. No, that was... I don't know what that was necessarily, but that was the introduction to the theme of these 3 games. The 3 games are based around this idea of sadism, and it's not the sadism that you would typically associate with, say, S&M, that sort of thing. It's more a sadism as a sort of vicarious pleasure in the suffering of others. The idea in all 3 of these games is you play a victim, and the role of the victim will become apparent. I swear that used to open in a different... Yeah. So, immediately you can see it's a lot different than most ones you will play. Lots of spikes, lots of strange, smiley evil faces making their early appearance. And the sort of atmosphere and story kind of has a little bit of overwork to it almost. It's clearly been engineered quite extensively. Look at the cute little head.
Where's the head crab we put in there?
I don't know.
What shall we do now?
Go on with plan B.
So, immediately the game's trying to kill me. I can get out of this one. So, the game wants me to panic it. So, it's like, when you play a trolley game, you kind of know that the game is trying to mess with you straight away, and you know the game is trying to just be silly and be trolly. But that wasn't trolly, that wasn't like loud noises, that wasn't just horrible sort of style. That was just to make you panic. The first thing this game makes you do is try and panic. That's just cruel. And I think that cruelness that's the perfect introduction to the kind of atmosphere that they wanted to create here.
This suit is made of plastic. It won't protect you from anything. It only makes you feel confident.
I certainly feel confident. I will see this room a lot. Let me just change that down a little bit more. So, first step of the game. I want to talk about a little bit about the map design. This sort of game kind of expects people to be playing Half-Life mods in a way that they're used to just running around and running into things and just having a fair fight. But this game doesn't like you to have a fair fight. It likes you to be over the top. It's not the only reason I die is that I lose all my armor just from taking damage, which can all be avoided, but the idea is that you're so we'll just try and see if I can find the option to turn the volume down a little bit. Just because turrets are loud. That room doesn't actually seem that tricky, but for anyone who's played Gold Source games, they know that anything rotating can just kill you in half a second. So that is not fun. So the first time I played through this room, I was confused as hell as to what to do, because it takes you a while to spot there's a tiny little ledge there and a door that you can go in, and then you spot it eventually, and the game just doesn't like you spotting it, and just the fact that you found it isn't enough. You've got to make the tricky jump, and then once you make the tricky jump, you're surprised by the drop, and then you're given an even more tricky jump to try and get on one of these light segments and jump into the door. There's a theme running through all of these games where you're given these tiny little spaces, and particularly in the first one, you're not given a clear idea of where to go or how to actually complete the task that you've been given. A lot of the time it involves backtracking further than you would have thought you needed to go. So we make progress. I am bad at jumping puzzles. Oh, damn. I'll just die 1 HP at a time, shall I? Yeah, finally I made it up here. Patronizing is strong. It wants me to go down there. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I think I have to do that. So there's a theme of escape going through this. So all the time, the idea is that, okay, so this isn't a very nice place to be. It's very strange, and people just know you. So yeah, the objective is to It's not an easy fight. Well, I forgot about that. I don't think you can actually make that jump either. Something prevents you from doing it. You have to go over there instead. Possibly not like that. Possibly not yet either. So again, with backtracking further than you think you had to. The game wants you to kind of wander around this little area for a long time before you find that button. You could quite easily spend a long time doing that. I think I did on my first playthrough. It's nonsense. Okay, this room. I'm gonna... Troll. Oh, cool.
What? He's still alive? Yes, even Plan M didn't work. Plan M? Oh, I see. That didn't work? No. Well, it seems that we have to cut this weapon arsenal again.
there's this rule that a lot of game developers have, or like game reviewers have, and it's you never want to take away the player's weapons, because it sucks to make progress and then have that progress ripped away from you. This game loves ripping progress away from you. It's the sort of game that wants to make sure everything is as difficult as possible, not from an unfair sort of perspective. It doesn't want to give you, I don't know, like a million grunts to fight. It just wants to make you feel powerful and then take away that same power. And just give you constant challenges to try and make you want to survive, but not actually have the capability of doing so in a lot of situations. Like, there's no way I'm pressing those buttons. So I'm going to go back here. Back beyond the area where I was in, where, you know, you'd expect it to be an enclosed puzzle, but no, it isn't. I beat the puzzle, and what do I get? I get enemies from behind me, and in front of me. Trolley game. Sense all the time when you're playing this game that someone is watching you try and get past all these puzzles, but they're kind of you might be trying to outsmart them, you might be trying to get better than them, but they're always in control. They always have that level of dominance, that level of being able to guide you to the next puzzle. Or just ignoring you. And then the game throws you a complete curveball. Now I'm playing a side-scrolling platformer with mouse and keyboard controls. Of course, you've got to aim up to go up the ladder. That wasn't what I was meant to do. Okay. So far the game has been like a real sort of just straightforward run and gun with a few puzzles that kind of break up the combat, but that is something you don't often see in Half-Life mods and in games. The idea of really awkward and difficult. I mean, some games do it, like games will give you an artificial sort of racing segment in the middle of give me one clip of ammo and then leave it. Sure, why not?
Wait! Wait! I see her in this hell too. That's the only room which is not secure. I survived here for a few days. And I even ate rats. I know that you would escape if you had your chance, isn't it? Well, I know an exit. It's not too far from here. It's a small door with a security inscription. Right next to it you'll see a mechanism with cogwheels. One is missing. I had one once, but I lost it somewhere. You have to find my cogwheel. And you're almost free. You have to walk through the backstage part, and over there must be a ventilation shaft, where you can finally escape. Good luck, man, and don't mind me. I'm doing fine here, and I want more people to get out of here. But, as I know, nobody has done this yet. So, be careful.
Have you seen this? Now you should remember one thing. We're gonna kill you all.
So, when games give you a long run and gun sort of easy sort of, oh, there's a puzzle here and there, but you know, it's fairly formulaic. They want to give you the impression that, you know, here's a game. I've put a game in front of you. When you get a cutscene like that, it's not necessarily the same sort of game anymore. You have, instead of this kind of simple run and gun mechanic, you're suddenly interrupted by this sort of objective. This is the first time you're actually given a proper objective in the game. You know, get backstage, get away from things. But then immediately, the same person who gives you the objective is destroyed brutally, and the narrator, who seems to be able to see you, no security cameras in here or anything, no sort of idea. The idea that you're under someone else's control is very, very prominent still here. And the game kind of wants you to understand your role. It doesn't want you to fight against your role anymore. It's the creator and the narrator is kind of saying, yeah, this is it. This is, so you've got this objective, but it doesn't matter. It's not significant in any way, shape, or form. There's just it wants you to ignore what it's just told you to do, and not very many games do that. Not very many games go, here's something you can finally look towards. Here's a purpose for your adventure here. Ignore it. Just don't do it, because it doesn't matter. He talks about the cogwheels, we immediately see cogwheels. It's not obvious, but I think, yeah, there's the intent to show that one's missing there. So I'm buying into this idea that, you know, I'm a run and gun hero, I'm gonna get out of here. They can't hold me, they can't stop me. think I didn't press the other button. And we get the cogwheel. I think at this point, if you're paying attention, you know that won't really matter.
So he escaped? Yes, he found the cogwheel. And where is he now? He has reached the backstage part. I'll send some troops to kill him.
Hurry. You know, if he escapes, we'll get fired.
I'll do my best.
Well, now I'm certainly being that. What's that? It's all the spooky. It's a good game for October, isn't it? So I'm past the backdrops, but the game is just immediately it sends you a multitude of different ways. You don't really know which way you're heading. None of these signs say exit or anything to that effect. In fact, you end up sort of trailing back to the start, going to part 1. And I've already been through a certain room twice, so I think I can probably guess where this is going to end up taking me. Part 1, the beginning. I don't know whether there was ever the intention at the start to actually make this breakout sequence sort of real, but the idea that you're now behind the backdrops is just constantly reinforced. But you can see that you're never too far away from what you've already experienced, such as this trap here. And it wouldn't be a Half-Life game without a bloody long vent for no reason. Oh, and back where I started. Great. So all that effort. I need to get exactly back where I started. different way to go. So, let's go in the vent again, guys. That sounds like a good idea. Let's try vent number 2. No one ever said escaping was easy. They didn't give me a map. Lights, freedom! Almost there. Almost there. So many dead ends. Ah, this almost looks like a real place. It's like suddenly ending up in an art gallery after being underground for a long time. I don't remember, these guys made it so tough. Almost dead. Need that health. Everything is... Why does the toilet roll light up? So there are a lot of grunts in this section. Kind of forgot just how many there were. Probably should have
Hold position. Yes, sir. Go, recon!
That was very odd. So, random door-to-door veg sales? Veg salesman was that? Like a farm. Cool. Unexpected. Oh. And here I thought I was doing so well, now it tells me I cannot escape. And it plonks you right back down in the middle of the sea. I've got to say, I love the way this map, this mod just kind of varies its traps. It's the same trap over and over again, but in slightly different and more creative ways, and it really gives you a sense that, you know, although you're not progressing, it is quite if ever a quick save is needed. Okay, can't just trigger it and move on. And we're back in the third person section. If you didn't find this nauseating enough to play first, now you've got to play it Tom. If you don't do it last night, So, games as art is a kind of really strange idea. Like, it's something that comes up a lot with adventure games, where suddenly you'll be presented with something that is, you know, kind of wild and out there and kind of very different from what you might ordinarily see. This is kind of your first taste that, regardless of what you do in this environment, you can't escape. The sky goes on forever here, and it's quite obvious you're not really in a world anymore where you could go into a house via a ventilation shaft and suddenly be able to escape. The game at this point just says, yeah, we're going to do away with the idea of you actually winning. We're going to do away with the idea of you actually having any power here. We're just going to have floating platforms that spin around and look mean. We're just going to have puzzles that involve you flying around in low gravity. We're going to say, you know, you've come this far, well done. Now we're going to throw something at you you can't possibly really deal with. And to make it difficult, we're just going to put one under here as well. Scumbags, right? At this point, this game kind of stops being a shooter. It stops being a Half-Life mod. It starts being something else. It starts being an experience. There's all sort of beauty to it as well, especially with the music kind of droning in the background. Stuck in them. So saved. I'm not exactly doing this. I should probably actually do this way. He says. whilst continuing to do it different.
First
Easy,
man
right?
in history in this institute who made it so far. All other people died earlier, many of them committed suicide before we got them.
Yes, and because of your powerful adventure, you won an extra prize.
It's not for long and you might be unhappy about it, but that's not important.
Your prize is this little sharp sight on the ceiling, because you are the first one who must be killed by this.
We'll remember you in the future as a special guest. Your escape was very funny.
Yes, but enough of this senseless discussion. Let's do it.
No, what a mess.
Doesn't matter, let's go on with the next freaking bastard.
Wow, what a mess he left.
Yeah, no one else ever managed to come that far.
I've been doing this job for nearly 27 years now, and each time we punish them, they become more and more better. Soon we'll have to invent some more powerful traps.
Lots of work.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Can I just quit out? I think I just quit out at this point.
So who's next?
It's like, you know, he unearthed.
If you want to play through it and listen to all that nonsense, then yeah, sure, you can do it. But I'm not going to. So, Halfquake was kind of just really a run and gun with a few puzzles and a few interesting bits that kind of make you think, oh, it stands out a little bit. Halfquake Amen was the first one I played, and it is very different.
Well, my friend, we hope you already experienced some suffering from sadism.
Because now we will introduce to you.
Where's the sheet?
I don't know.
What do you mean?
What did we write
What
down?
the fuck is this stupid sheet?
I don't know.
Shut up, then where is it?
I don't know.
Where is it? Where is it?
I don't know.
Fuck that shit, where?
I don't know. Look, a cat.
Look, the cat had swallowed the sheet. Pick it up.
Yes, sir. Here you are.
Thank you. Now let's get it on.
Because now we will introduce to you.
The fuck? What the fuck is that? Who wrote that shit? And why the fuck are all my swear words away? Damn! Give me that pen over there.
Yeah.
The air rape is real.
Because now we will introduce to you the advanced sadist theory.
Guess what? You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Now that's a situation you'll get used to while suffering in your institute.
If you're confronted with this, kind of nothing, be patient. Wait for something to happen.
Or simply look around. Look for a white line like this one. Very often you need duck jumps. Try to reach the 4 buttons.
So this game actually has a big tutorial. It tells you to push all the buttons.
Well, not perfect, but okay. Now you can see a light. If you press the button, your health points get recharged. Stepping on one of those life platforms has the same effect. So don't miss them. You might also need some jump and run practice for a better control landing or walk while jumping.
Yeah, you fail in this game and people laugh at you. It's kind of cruel.
And now we go on with some weapon training. Shoot the box in 2 seconds.
Oh yeah, first try. And now?
And now?
So the game's already killed me.
are you looking at? Damn! Look at this stupid engine. Why the hell are we transparent?
I don't know.
Oh, looky here, guys. Seems like we have a winner.
You might ask yourself why you're here. What went wrong? Why you? Well, I'll tell you one thing. You made a mistake and you will have to pay for it. Even if you're innocent at the moment, the lone fact that you're human is reason enough for us to make you and your eternal soul suffer. You can take the guns. Not that it will help you, but we just want some entertainment.
So this game starts completely differently. We've got these huge black expanses where you just completely lose any sort of idea of where you are. You feel, as a player, you feel kind of helpless when you enter these environments. You feel like you've lost your sense of grounding. You've got the same fuzzy texture noise whenever you're walking on a surface, and it doesn't feel like proper ground. You don't know how high up you are, you don't know, even when ducking, you don't really know whether you're ducked or not, other than the speed at which you move. It's all very disorientating straight away, and it grounds you looking towards the light. Anything light in the environment. The tutorial said as much, you know? If you don't see anything, look around, try and move a bit until you find something. It's this sort of, this minimalistic sort of approach to game design that forces the player to be quite attentive. It forces the player to kind of look at things and think, hey, this is something I have to pay attention to. And the game doesn't help you out at all either in the puzzles. So like, for example, this one, I just walk on something and I die. I have no idea what I'm doing. This is the first part of the game where I've really got to do anything at all, and I just walk on things and I die. The only thing I see is this diary. And I don't know whether these were ever made skippable, I guess not. But this is the diary of another victim in the institution, and this diary kind of guides you through the institute. It says strange things like, I don't know where here is, in this world light doesn't or can't exist, and they talk about memories that you don't have as a player because you've just been lumped in here, but it gives you something to ground yourself against a reality that isn't this place. And I think that's kind of cool. I think the idea of having a lifeline to something else is really quite important. He mentions the fact that sooner or later the battery on his, I think it's on his watch, will run out that he's using for light. But it's a bit strange. This is sort of then a game for the initiated, because you already need to know sort of what it's about in order to make any sort of progress at all, such as, for example, this word search. The solution is sadism.
Ah, Mr. Victim, I suppose. Well, here's a little help from your friend. Take pen and paper and write it down! As you might have already noticed, this part of your punishment is called pestilence. Soon, after a few additional parts of course, you'll face a part called patience. Got that? Right. Patience is called patience because, and now listen carefully, as I said, patience is called patience because you need about 20 minutes of patience. During this time, try to use it. Drink a coffee, or 2 or 3. Walk around, go outside, answer the phone now and then. Play with your bones, you get the idea. Generally speaking, stay alive.
That's new.
And now, go ahead.
I love the fact that this game completely defies your expectations all the time. The fact that suddenly I had this puzzle where I've got yes/no answers to things, and I have to act like an optimist in order to get through. You're dropped into this pit where an alien slave immediately attacks you, and you're kind of panicking, and you see a way out, but then you go down the way out, and you just hear this. I think piano music in general is just so powerful for this sort of thing. It feels like you're in a different kind of game at this point. I'm no longer playing a Half-Life mod. I'm no longer playing a run-gun shooter. I'm no longer playing this sort of rat in a maze sort of game. I'm playing an experience at this point, and it's a weird one. And being the good little victim we are, heeding the experience from the tutorials, we're going to pick life, and then we're going to move on. Black screens, so common. But the game isn't without combat. Here's where it gives you motion sickness. This puzzle took me quite a while. I don't know why when I first played, because it's actually really simple. I think it's because when you play a game like this, you expect it to be something kind of neat and succinct, and you're not really ready for the sort of puzzles it gives you. But basically you just have to run to the edge, then run to the center, then run to another edge, then run to the center, then run to another edge, then run to the center. Over and over again. It doesn't quite give you enough time to do a 2-in-1 cycle. It's almost possible, but just not possible, to kind of stop you from being greedy. Also, I think the game intends you to die a lot just after you've done this bit, so you have to redo the whole thing again. It is truly a nasty thing to do to a player, because effectively you're just running around, and just the environments that we've seen have quite interesting artwork around them, but this has just got evil smileys all over the place. Like, what even is this? You got these floating ones slightly at an angle as well. So we get there, press all of them, and we quick save, because I don't want to have to do that again. And, well, don't want to drop down there. The thing about these platforms is because they are transparent and you can see through them, sometimes you can see the one below, but on every other one you can't. So you kind of have to guess half the time. And because there's so many of them, you're liable to get greedy like that. So all I can do is press buttons. If you let the alien slaves get off too many shots there, they'll actually take the pillars down and make it a lot harder for you. Tiny little box. And pray I'm standing in the right place. Goes real dark. And spikes through the ceiling. Yeah, you just randomly die here. And there's nothing indicating these are ladders, but they totally are. Well, I think that's done with this section. Silence. Which starts off really loud. So in the previous game there was a pretense that you were somehow being able to influence your environment. In this you can, but you have no idea what you're doing. I am going to try and match the movement of my mouse to this spinning block when I'm still on, so I don't get quite as motion sick as it intends me to. And it's stopped. And we go right, we don't go left. We don't fall on the ground either. You don't want to do that. We go left, we don't go right. Right explodes. Right is the wrong way to go. Left rises up into the air and knocks you off. And in general, I'm just bad at platforming. Yep, drop into that one. Yeah, this section. So it's time to make our own tune. let's have a bit of story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Welcome to Halfquake.
Thank you for joining us once again today. Here you can see our next victim. He just made it through our test area and failed. I just heard that we've got 3 more victims.
So I'm now going to run. I can't remember how to get out of it. I have to push that one. No, I have to push that one. Okay. I'm probably already dead at this point. I will keep trying. Yeah, I can hear it sneaking up behind me. Oh, I didn't actually die. Sweet.
Finally, you've arrived. Press the button on the wall and I will tell you something about the next mission.
Ow.
Oh, sorry. I meant this button.
Ow.
Well,
That's weird. Ow.
I think the buttons don't work. Well then, see you the next time. Bye bye.
Ow. I have faith. Oh yeah. Ah! Oh, this section. Nope. These are the most annoying jumps in the game. Timing on that is actually quite tight. And then you go through this room and it's like, oh, I can just drop down there, right? No, if you drop down there, you die. It's actually quite a steep drop. You just have to wait until this platform comes out. And the loud music stops. I love this music. This music is the best. Soulful? I feel like that's soulful. I don't feel like games let you play enough with music. I feel like music is such a kind of important part of games. And this game really gets it. This game really gets the idea. It sets the tone. It enables you to kind of understand what's going on in some little sense. Okay, well, I thought that was... This might just be the reset, I suppose. Up one. There you want to. Yeah.
Pressing button number 1 will kill you, and pressing button number 2 will help you. It's your choice.
Not this room.
There are 2 hurting buttons. Find them or die.
This puzzle is actually timed. It's one hang button. I think they're on opposite walls, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to try this one next. Okay, 2 hang buttons. Done. Whew. Stress is real. Well, nothing seems to be working. Apart from death. Death still works. I swear death never used to work. Troll. So to say Halfquake Amen is in any way sort of esoteric and strange and weird is kind of an understatement. Because the art that you see around is beautiful, and kind of the level design is all fantastically creative. And it's all incredibly dark. And, you know, what better way to relax? Friendly game of tennis. Let's call an end to this. constantly chasing this exit. And then something a little bit more contemplative. Nice long elevator sections. So this bit kind of confuses me. Like, I don't recognize any of what's going on here. This looks like some sort of black and white version of some planet or something. And this is some sort of game, side-scrolling 2D shooter, I think. But the images here are just kind of random. They're not artistic like the ones before. They're not kind of crazy. They're just sort of strange. It's like Absence is a chapter that kind of revolves around a sort of anti-sense. Did we ever land on the moon? I mean, what's the point of even asking that question, you know? I don't know if there's some sort of secret that I miss here, but yeah, I've never quite understood this bit. Other than the fact you could like drop off and just die wherever. But it makes you think that it means something, even if it is just a troll. It makes you think that there is something going on. And I like games that make you think, even when there is nothing to think about. I like games that make you contemplate things. And if you're going to contemplate anything, this is the kind of music that you want to contemplate things to. It's the kind of music that makes you want to think creatively. It makes you think, okay, so none of these things are related necessarily, but how can I make something? How can I move beyond the basic of what this is and show it and come up with something different? The mechanics here are very simple, but the design has a lot of effort and a lot of thought into it, and it makes you think, well, if it's designed, then it must have a reason. But yeah, God knows. If I remember correctly, it's possible to lock yourself in this area. If you go into one of these areas and use up all that, you can get trapped by these blocks unless you take them out first. I don't know if they fix that and put ammo in every single one of them to make it harder. That is not what I wanted to see dropping down there. Should have spent more time sitting on the life sign. So this is run and gun, but it's so peaceful in a way. Just the slow and steady nature of it. The way in the previous game it gave you the machine gun, but in this it's just a crossbow. You're forced to slow down quite a lot. And we were briefly greeted with light, and now back into darkness.
Hey! Psst, over here. Yeah, me. The skeleton is speaking. Oh, you thought skeletons can speak? Well, I've got news for everybody. It's my soul talking, so listen hard. As you can see, I've been dead for a while. Luckily, I've got to keep my bones. The other guys were eaten alive or burned to hell by unholy creatures. They left me here to guide everyone through who comes along. So here it comes. There is a real exit somewhere.
Yay, real exit.
Find a cogwheel,
Find the cog.
take it, stick it up your...
Thanks.
Jesus. I'm sick of it all. Alright. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is no real exit. Frankly, they don't give a fuck. Gonna kill you anyway. And you know, through all these years, I realized it's not that bad. You actually get to lay around, talk to rats, eat rats, play with your bones. You've got all the time in the world, or wherever we are. After all, you get to be a part of it, you know, this institute. Anyway, you gotta leave now, cause I hear the next guy coming. Ha ha ha, very funny motherfucker, but I'm not laughing. Who's responsible for this crap anyway, huh? You know how this feels to be hit by a rock every fucking day, each time over and over on the head, huh? You stupid son of a bitch. Fuck you all maggots. I'm gonna rip your heart and shit into your neck until you're bleeding.
Skeleton Guy is like my favorite character. That rock kills me like almost every time. It's a knife. So it's this one. On we go. Wrong way. You can use these pillars to help you navigate because they show a top-down view of this maze, but I kind of think it's easier just to brute force it. Mazes are hard to build in Half-Life Engine. So, onwards. We just go. Yeah, invisible enemies, that seems fair. And another diary. Well, we're gonna skip that. Quit Halfquake command, search 13545.txt and come back. It's a text file in the game's folder. I would go search for that, but I think it's just shoot the left eye and then use the mouth. Not that I've done this before. So, this is a really cool little puzzle. Like, I absolutely love this puzzle. It seems really creative, and I don't know how they managed to achieve it with the Half-Life Gold Source engine, because there are so many triggers in just this room alone. On these ones I have to press use on the floor, on these ones I have to press use on the ceiling, those ones move and those ones break. So I can never stand on those ones, which are the ones that break. But the other ones I can, so long as I use the right place. So if I go here and use the floor, and then try and use the pillar. That's not how I remember this going. Let's do that. I guess they changed it. It's kind of there are things in each corner instead. Oh, that's cool. Means I have to actually think about what I'm doing instead of just going straight for them. Ah! And I failed awfully. Alright, so let's do that. What? What? That's a bit. What? A bit trolly. I did not want to do that. Okay. That's two. That's three. Let's fail. What the I think it's because I like cross over this one. I need to actually like trigger that one. Made it! Oh, I love that puzzle. It's so good. And someone turned off the light. Ambience. So, lots of games try really hard to create desolate wastelands and kind of abnormal worlds, and they put loads of effort into putting absolutely tons of detail into things, but very few games can actually capture a sort of wide open expanse, and there's something in the way that Halfquake Amen does it that is quite impressive to me. It's these nonsensical windmills that look incredibly sharp and sadistic and evil, and just generally quite menacing. And the fact there's so many of them in this wide area, there are certain limitations of the gold source engine, like these stretched textures on the ground. I imagine they probably aren't really designed to be stretched this way, but limitations of the gold source engine mean that if you do stretch them like this, you'd reach the limits of the engine slower, so it's much more efficient and much more stable. But I feel like it's creating something really quite impressive with very little. Wide open areas like this, you can create a normal Half-Life, but you can't fill them with very much, and even this level of detail would probably be a bit of a struggle, and that's nothing compared to what we'll see just up ahead. These trees are entirely in keeping with the style of the game as well, and I just love that consistency about it. The fact that all these elements that are on the screen don't look out of place at all. And that's very hard to do when you're dealing with a complete custom sort of set of items and set of textures and set of models. Just very cool in my opinion. This mod also does kind of weird things for mods at the time, because very little mods had anything in the way of optional content. But effectively, all you need to do to progress through this area is head through one of the gates up ahead. But there are things you'd miss if you just headed straight there. So, for example, here we have a building on the top of the hill. There's a staircase leading up to it. It says "Mind the steps." These steps are deliberately built so that you can't actually just walk straight up them. You can change the step size if you want, and then you can actually walk up them. But effectively, you have to jump up every single one of these steps, and it's a strange, intentional sort of sadistic design choice to force the player to hammer their spacebar in this sort of way just to get up here. But you get up here and you're like, oh, they could have just had these size of steps, that's fine. And you get up there and all you get for your trouble is just this empty classroom with these strange, very sharp-looking desks. I find it interesting that that there wasn't the choice to go with models here. These are all brush textures, world brushes. They're not actually models, so you can actually sit in them. If they were models, they'd have a bounding box around them, like all the models in Half-Life do. But yeah, you can actually sit at each of these chairs, and on the board it just says sadism, and it's in cursive, it's in scroll. But that's all you get for your trouble. You spend all that time going up there, and that's literally all you get. You get nice music to kind of soothe your anger, but it doesn't give you much for the effort that you put in. And I think that kind of is a good running theme. Ooh, is that an Easter egg? Tell me that's an Easter egg. I want to find an Easter egg. I wonder if I have to shoot it. Oh, no, I go all the way down the hill, try and plant some ammo, and oh, that's a bad idea. Okay. Oh, actually, let's change it. You get art now. Yay! But aside from that, there's nothing in here. Ah! And the same is true for this area. This area is very heavily guarded. You have to fight through a lot of enemies just to get into this area. And then you go around the side and you see, oh, actually, there is no way into this area. It's completely kind of cut off. It gives you the impression there's some sort of fort with perhaps buildings or something around that windmill in there, but no, you can never actually see it. But it does give you something for your trouble. You get to go in this room. And see more mindless displays of violence. I wonder if there's any more Easter eggs that I've missed. Probably tons. I do find something new every time I go back and play this game. So I think both these portals lead to the same place, but I could be wrong. Again, a run and gun that really doesn't feel like a run and gun. That's assuming that's it. So you spend all this time with this haunting melody and all this sort of strange music and kind of laid-back combat. Then you get the opportunity to do something different.
This is a sort of sadism. As long as you use it, you will gain nearly unlimited health and power. That means you live longer, we love stronger.
Like if you just kind of stand around and take the shots, you will eventually die. It's almost impossible. You feel you don't have unlimited health. You don't have the kind of display on your screen telling you how much health you have. But so you kind of feel a tension, you kind of feel a desperation still, because this is a melee weapon and you're being attacked by ranged enemies, and that's never good in a video game. But you also don't have the danger of losing here. Like, the game's not intending you to be overpowered. It's almost kind of stressful. If you were in any way frustrated with the puzzles and challenges that you fought before this, you can now take it out on these poor little genetically modified monsters. You know. Miss that little jump and fall all the way down, possibly even die. Another diary there, we're going to skip it, but that was kind of important because it sets up the next ending. So the diary follows the story of the person who is in the next hill fort here, and it kind of documents his journey in trying to escape and trying to go out and how much he misses his family and all of that sort of stuff. Then he's given a deal. He gets to stay in the Institute and he doesn't have to fight any more traps, he doesn't have to kill any more enemies. All he has to do is gun down any victims that make it this far. Well, guess what? I'm a victim and I've made it this far. This is now victim versus victim. But guess what? I got a sword. And I'm much more powerful. So this guy who got this far, who spent all this time trying to overcome the challenges and was eventually brought low by the Institute, is then put up against me, who has been given a ridiculously insane overpowered weapon just to defeat him. If that's not sadistic, I don't really know what is. Sapiens. So we've still got the sword. You kind of still feel like you have a lot of power here, but suddenly the power doesn't matter anymore. You've got NPCs around you who aren't
Not
overly
enough
hostile.
experience to visit an expert patient.
But the game takes on a sort of RPG twist at this point and says, oh, so you've not got enough experience to get to the next location. If you go to the guards, they'll tell you they won't let you in.
Nope, there is no entry yet. Catch me a rat and bring a flower for my friend here, then we will let you in.
Catch a rat.
You know, this is a full-time job without any breaks, so we are hungry like someone who works on a full-time job without any breaks.
I know what it's like to work on a full-time job without any breaks. So I've got to find a flower and a rat. The rat is easy enough to find. I have a rat. Flower is also easy enough to find, but you know, you'd look in the grass for this flower. Oh, maybe it'll be in the grass over here. No, maybe it'll be by this tree. Oh no, wait, what the hell is that? The surrealism is real.
Thank you very much, victim. We welcome you to the statistic village.
I'll get the annoying ones out of the way first, I think. Probably this one. This one's the annoying one.
Please, help us. This Christmas tree is possessed by a 100-year-old ghost, and all the time he sings and sings. But there's only one way to get the ghost into hell. Put on this Christmas clothes and jump into the shelter through the chimney. Hurry, before we all get crazy.
I've got to ruin Christmas. I'm gonna need some boxes.
Well done, Mr. Victim. I will see you in hell.
Yay.
Yes? Oh, my son. You are the new victim, aren't you? I want you to solve my problem. You know, some years ago, my son and his wife lived in this house. One day, they quarreled, and my son left his crying wife. She took all her possessions, locked the house, and flew out of the village. Then my son came back and screamed and said, "Then, where's my key?" So he decided to follow his wife, found her near the village, and knocked her down with his expensive bike. He couldn't stand the little voice in his head and committed suicide in our biotop, as you can see. But that's not my problem. The door is still locked, and I'm afraid to get outside the village to get the key. And I need to get in, because of the painting. So I want you to bring me the key.
Is this guy not really, you know, not really saddened by the fact that, like, someone died and someone committed suicide? He's just like, yeah, I still need to get in the house. You know, practicalities matter. I have the key. Sarcasm is real.
Open the door for me, please. I'm sorry.
That's exactly how doors open. This is a very pretty painting. This house has a door that will kill you if you enter it. It's a scumbag house. will also break.
Hey, you, paint my walls like this.
Want some more green?
I don't like this color. Make it white.
Okay.
Well, I'm still not very satisfied. The wall looks like your face, but you may go.
Wow. Grand real.
What the hell are you doing in my toilet, huh? Well, now you have to defeat the dragon. See you.
Sure.
Drag!
Oh yeah. Well done, victim. You may go.
What a kind guy.
What a wonderful hero.
What a Santa Claus.
What a human being.
What an idiot. Go outside the village and leave the report.
And that is the section.
Come in if you're there, you little hitchhiker.
But there's one more thing to do in this section before we go on to patience. So this again is something entirely optional, but it's nice and trolly, so it's good to include it. You can't actually make that jump. You're actually intended to fall there. The staircase doesn't even go all the way up to the top of the cliff. What it does do is make this thing small. Damn it. I don't want to loss. Oh wait, there we go. I got myself unstuck. So, my right arm's on fire now. It will be for a while. This diary I will actually listen to.
Actually, life doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, you can make up your mind about it as long and as often as you want. There won't show up any sense at all. Nothing. Well, of course, family, friends, career, lifestyle, whatsoever. But all in all, that's nothing. No, really. Because sense is something virtual. Nothing makes more sense than something else. Do animals waste thoughts on issues like sense? I don't think so. Most people still believe in good and bad. or at least in something good. Hell, many people even believe in justice and truth, and that they have rights or duties. Problem is, everything we want, everything we think, and everything we do is linked to a certain system. You might say now, where's the problem with that? I will tell you. The more we hang on a system, the less we want to change. The problem now is, everything changes except us. And the even bigger problem is, man doesn't want to change, so man changes everything else, so it fits into his system. Individualism is a very rarely spread gift, by which I don't really mean clothes or music or something. You get the idea. I often thought, who are they to tell me what to do? What if I just didn't acknowledge their reign? Just because we are a free democratic republic, it doesn't mean they can tell me what I have to do, does it? But the fact I missed was a small rule called survival of the fittest. When I finally realized that we still live in some kind of neo-prehistoric, mafia-like organized arrangement where we pay the fittest to protect us and thus make everybody survive, I give it up. Or let's put it that way. We all do what the majority wants because otherwise the majority's guards would beat us up, drastically spoken. That's fucking right now that you think about it, isn't it? Probably there is no way to escape from it, at least not yet. To live a completely different life. Well, maybe you can live a relatively different life in some desert or somewhere on the sea or in some kind of jungle, something untouched by civilization. On the other hand, why? So I can say, oh, those damn humans, they won't mess me up again? I can do so now. Plus, I can tell them right into their face. Funny, huh? At least I could. By the way, being isolated from civilization might feel a bit, lonely. Worst feeling man can feel, loneliness. Expert for loneliness talking. Which also shows that man is not perfect. Of course not. Such diversity of contradictory feelings within one mind? Mistaken evolution? If yes, just who exactly cares? But, as I'd say, there are no mistakes. To the question, does Earth belong to the human race? Many people would probably answer yes, because we were here before, and no, because we belong to Earth instead, or something like that. What would you answer? Is it important? Not really, is it? That's something you could argue about for a very, very long time. And guess what? Humans could argue about everything for a very, very long time. And why is that? Because everybody needs to categorize things. Is it good? Is it bad? For me and the system. We need clear definition, otherwise we would feel uncertain. And man, uniquely naive, really thinks he'd be able to describe everything, to sort everything that is, just to group with same-minded and avoid outsiders. What do you think about it? What is your opinion? Blah blah blah. Who cares? I guess, and secretly hope, that man will finally fall due to his very own mind. You can see and feel that more and more people realize the senselessness they stumble into. No, wait. People just don't suppress the fact anymore. Yeah, that. Individualism often means destruction, in some kind of way. No wonder there are so little individualists, considering that destruction is bad. The advantage those destructive individualists have, they realize there is no sense. So why bother obeying the majority?
I think more games need to do this kind of thing, where they'll inject some of their own personal philosophy into it. I think it's hard to do with game studios, with proper like AAA titles and things like that, where they'll just say, oh well, we've got too conflicting and too kind of complicated a employee base, and you know, we don't want people working on games that go against their own ideologies. We don't want people to say what's wrong with society, because not everyone agrees with what's wrong with society. But mods have the freedom to do that. You have very small groups of individuals working on something, and why not? Why not just spend time thinking and talking about what's important and what you can see in life? But I've spoken to Mothership about this text in particular, and you know, you say something dismissive like, "Oh, it's just what I said when I was younger. I was just naive. I've changed." But in essence, all philosophy is a part of what you believe at a time. I mean, if Plato was around now, he would think something different to what he thought at the time that he was thinking it. If anyone who was influential in coming up with ideas and thoughts was still around, they would have a different perspective on things. And oftentimes the reason people are fondly remembered is because you don't remember them in their senile ages, you don't remember them in their craziness. I was listening to a lecture by Mark Steele on Beethoven the other day, and the idea that someone as talented and as creative and as capable of influencing and inspiring people in that sort of way reached the end that he did, where he was senile, he was going deaf, he had constant headaches, he was under immense torture and immense strain that no one could do anything about because there wasn't the medicine at the time. And to be honest, a lot of people are in the same situation now. The idea that what they said at the time is insignificant is wrong, because it's always significant. It reflects a demographic, it reflects a person at a time. And there's things you can do to change people over time. People become more conservative over time, they become more guarded, they recognize threats more readily, and they act more protectively. They'll subscribe to politicians who have protectivist policies, and they'll err on the side of caution more. They won't rebel as much. And I think that all these thoughts coming from a video game where you're just going around killing monsters and all this sort of thing, I think that's fantastic. I think that's amazing. I think the idea that you can have some form of discourse, and the overall goal of this game is really to say that, you know, the system that you're involved in is not something that you have any level of control over. It's you're playing a game that is just a closed environment, and you have no freedom over the next path it will take. I will always have to go through this gate if I want to continue the game. But that's about alternate ways of thinking. What was said up there was about trying to explore the extremes of relating to the society that you're in. And this is why I named this stream Here's the Thing, because here is the thing. The thing is, everything is always about more than its base layers. And I think when playing through Halfquake 1, you got the sense that Halfquake was about testing the player, it was about teasing the player, it was about tricking the player, and it was about letting the player down. The player wanted to be the hero, but the player never gets to be the hero. If you're playing this game, you already know you're not the hero, you already know how it's going to end. The only thing that matters is what you learn along the way. There's optional things in this area that you never need to experience. Like, my right arm is on fire right now, as I said earlier.
It's you again.
I can activate this dynamite.
Thanks for the fire.
And I get $3 for doing so. And I can go in this sadism machine now that I've got the $3. Congratulations, you solved the unnecessary side quest. Again, completely unnecessary, and again, it doesn't change the experience all that much. But what was set up there gets you thinking. It gets you, even if you completely disagree with it, even if you're completely saying that's just some childish sort of teenage tantrum, that's basically someone being introverted to the point of existential sort of dread. It's isolationist. It's counterproductive. It's antisocial. It's all of these things, but it does get you to think. It makes you think something, and when people think things, they feel things. They feel an emotive response, and I think this is something that a lot of games need to do more. It's not just about having moral choices which make your character do one thing or another and give you an alignment bonus at the end and make you a dark side, make you a light side. It's about making people think, well, you know, what is justice? What is fairness? What is the right and the wrong? What is good and bad? And if they don't exist, what do we do then? And if you wanted to have time to think about that, the best place to do it is in patience. So the next train arrival is at 4:10 according to that clock, and that is saying 23:50, and I think that's pretty much real time. Yeah, that's about 25 minutes, right? This is next arrival, is it midnight? And that's 23:50. And this is us. And this is you. There is no way to speed this section up as far as I know. There are things that happen occasionally, but you literally have to wait for 25 minutes. And you can't sit on any of the benches because they deal damage if you sit on them.
This is the all-new way to travel. Its sadistic design has won all sadistic awards of this planet, or wherever we are. Lots of spikes, threads from a tank, and of course 2 doors, which are too small, make this an experience you will never forget. This is the Sadism Express. Summarized, you can say it is uncomfortable, unsafe, and black and white. So, what are you waiting for? Death?
It's always good to have some social commentary, right? And at this point I take a break.
Take care on number 487. Train passes.
Freedom.
warning, you contain sadistic chemicals.
Clouding up, sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Along the waves, clouding up my mind.
Take care on number 487. Train passes.
Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up my mind. Along the waves, clouding up my mind. Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind. Mist crawling along the waves, clouding up.
Already bored?
Sitting by the crazy, feeling left behind.
commit suicide. You'd get a lot of money if you did a good job. Ah. On number 487. Train passes.
Sorry, Brian, enjoying the stream this section. Waiting for trains to depart.
Only one train in 200 arrives at its target. We have a lot of accidents and are very proud of it.
Don't you think that you're wasting time? Wouldn't it be better to leave this life? Well, I see. You are one of those tough guys, aren't you?
Train station simulation terminated. Train station simulation terminated. Train station simulation terminated.
So now take a minute and think about it. Why the hell should we have a train system, Well, of course, because we want to torture you, but we don't need any transport system. We are everywhere anyway. So, this was an example how life really is. Sadistic and absolutely senseless.
So, you remember Halfquake 1? Hey, it's this section. I remember this. A lot easier. So, the game has changed somewhat. The game, at this point, the game's like, if you're still an optimist, we don't really want you playing it anymore. And if you're still, you know, holding on to those shackles of humanity, it doesn't want you anymore. So, it wants you to appreciate evilness. And it also kind of wants you to let go of the idea of sanity, because, oh my god, what is going on here? I'm playing matching game models. this isn't about escaping, this isn't about making it out, this isn't about a fight for survival. This is just taking as many things with you as you can. This is just causing as big a dent in the world and in the universe as you possibly can before it's all over. And violence is a great chapter for that, because violence it just is. It can be quite senseless. Smashing right behind you.
What is it?
In this bit, you jump.
Stop jumping! We have a few technical problems, so please wait and stop jumping! You forgot what I said? I told you not to jump! Okay, now I'm fed up with you.
All done.
Yes, yes. Go ahead, you son of a thing.
I know the truth, myself was our entertainment. My personality we called up Jesus and the circus. Then I saw sex approach, my best preparation soul. It's not the best I can. I see you in hell and again.
Boom! So Somos is basically the same as he was. Apparently I didn't actually go through that. Somos is basically the same as he was in the first game, but looking an awful lot better. And again, it serves the same sort of purpose as
mess with Halfquake. You can't escape alive. Upside did it again.
Oh. I'm bad at this one.
So was that big. So was that big.
I died a lot on servers.
So was that big.
These jumps are so tight, they really are.
You are nothing empty. Says Moose. You are nothing empty.
was doing okay on my death count up till now. I've just ruined it. Let's try it from this side. We'll do better. Jeez.
My God! Look, he found out how to deactivate Somo's shield. Found out.
So was I.
Very, very, very good.
So, you managed to cheat your way through, eh?
What are you waiting for? As you can see, there are 20 doors! Go open one of them.
Don't you think we need something more for the last words you might ever hear?
Okay. Okay. Go open one of them. No, seriously. I don't think that he is worth any more of our precious time.
So all of these doors lead to death, if it's anything like the old version. So I'm just gonna pick number 1.
We want some entertainment, so take that gun. Yeah, crawl into your tent and forget the sun. The fact that you're human, it's reason enough to neck your soul. You try to run as fast as you can, but your head will look like a bleeding hole. This is Halfquake, you are here to die. This is your last day, even if you cry. This is Halfquake, you are here to die. This is your last day, even if you cry. This is Halfquake, you are here to die. This is your last day, even if you cry. This is Halfquake, you are here to die. This is your last day, even if you cry.
Well, as you can see, I'm back from Wonderland finally.
Welcome back. Did you visit Alice? Yo, what did you do last night?
Watching movies? What?
Nothing. Now what's next on the list?
It reads Upside Down Crucifixions. Oh yeah, I gotta watch that.
You'll do them, jackass.
Huh? Really?
Yeah, Capital Punishment, 7:30 p.m. Worldwide TV rights.
Wow. Me. Nice suit, nice face, nice appearance. Stupid family TV show intro melody. Camera waves across punishment field. Distorted faces of exhausted victims. Smiling in the camera. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Halfquake's Daily...
Shut up.
Oh yeah, so when am I supposed to do that?
Well, actually, a few seconds ago.
What? Damn.
Someone else doing it instead now. You lamer.
Boring.
Yeah, no heroes.
No Marines.
No fun.
We definitely need someone who thinks he's important.
Someone who thinks he's mightier than anything else existing.
Someone who thinks he's always right.
We need a human being.
Yep.
Here's a coffee.
Coffee?
Yes. Some time ago you wanted some.
Really?
Yes. But it became a bit cold.
Oh, well, thanks, anyway. 234, 235, 236.
What are you doing there?
Don't know. 237, 238.
239, right?
Stop disturbing me!
Okay, calm down.
239, 240, 241, 666. Damn! This fucking sadistic Christmas calendar.
No, it's one of those fucking sadistic Christmas calendars.
Yes, you're kind of intelligent.
No, I'm sadistic.
Yeah, we're all some kind of sadistic, you know.
No, I forgot.
Well. 667, 668, 669, 670, 671, 672, 673.
Say, have I told you I'm also schizophrenic?
You mean you're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Jackass?
Yeah, kind of.
Cool. So, what did you get for birthday?
3 more victims.
Awesome, man. Can I see them? Please. Please. I wanna
No,
torture them.
No.
Please. No.
no, behave.
Yeah, like that's gonna ever happen.
No, shut up.
I'm perfectly calm.
Yeah, waving your gun around like that.
Calmer than you are.
Man, please stop that shit.
Calmer than you are.
I thought I was schizophrenic.
Well, you thought wrong.
Okay. Let's sing something. Something.
Oh, so you're insane and gay?
Hey, don't call me insane.
Alright, monkey boy.
Ooh,
Here, got your banana.
Thanks. Fuck off.
Well, actually we were supposed to do something, right?
Yeah, like smashing you with a rock again.
Oh, so it was you? Thanks! You know, like my daddy always said, life is like a... Great. Where's my head?
Well, I gotta go now.
Wait, my head! You know, like my mommy always said, stupid is...
Sorry guys, we had to remove this part. Too sadistic and all this crap, you know. So, see you later.
And this is Halfquake, and you are here to die. And this is our dragon. Oh, isn't it sweet? Aren't you a little victim of endless suffering? And this is our dragon. Oh, isn't it sweet? I think I have to go. And this is Halfquake, and you are here to cry. And yes, it is our dragon, who cannot even fly.
So that was Halfquake Amen. Very different game from the first one. A lot more kind of symbolic stuff going on, a lot more art, a lot more moving away from just pure run and gun fun. and clever map design. And although in the first game there was lots of sort of trolly things that were basically putting buttons in places where you didn't expect them, in this game it was playing more around the idea of the buttons in general, by having the buttons hurt you, by having the buttons do things you wouldn't necessarily expect. And the only time when you really have to press a lot of them is in the last fight. So it's there's this kind of difference in atmosphere. It's sort of like it's changed from just an experiment into something more coherent, an actual experience. This kind of goes on into Sunrise as well. I'm probably not going to do Sunrise tonight. I'm going to do Sunrise some other time. But it's kind of the way the game evolves is quite interesting. The simplicity and the sort of the influences from Quake in Halfquake 1 is kind of obvious, but by Halfquake Amen, it's completely detached from the old experience. It's more about something new and something original and something that feels rebellious in a way. Sunrise is different again. Sunrise is more orthodox. You can even see it just from the art style here. This looks a lot more normal. This looks a lot more kind of ordinary, but it's still very grey and it's still very washed out. It's still a trapped experience, but we're gonna next time I stream this, we're gonna see there's a lot more artistic influence in this, and there's a lot more thought gone into the ideas, and there's a lot more kind of grown-upness to the experience. It's less about a kind of visceral reaction and more about the depth of things, about the construction of things. There are puzzles in this game, in the third game, which require you to actually think about what you're doing and not just press buttons in the right order. So that's what I'm going to be looking at next time, now that I've done the first two. So if anyone watches this, I hope you enjoyed it, and for now I think that's going to be me signing off.